Welcome to the 60 Plus Podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. All right, Janet.
I'm good for now. I'm a little bit worried that you're sitting across from me because you're cold and you're coughing and
My
whatnot.
cold is pretty much over.
Yeah,
One
that's
of the
what people
benefits,
say, but
no,
it's like, yeah, but the germs are still hanging around.
one of the benefits of being me is the cough lasts forever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the germs are there too. So just, be careful.
all right, I won't breathe in your direction.
Don't breathe.
Okay. I think it'll be a very short episode if that's the case. What are we talking about today, Janet?
Well, last episode, I was talking about this idea of aging gracefully. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Aging gracefully. And, I got this idea because I was having a conversation with somebody. And you know how we're like at this age, you talk about your aches and pains. And
Never happens.
no, and they said, I'm trying to age gracefully, but you got this and you got that and yada, yada, yada. So I thought, well, let's do an episode about aging gracefully and why we should be thinking about this. You know, I guess you can try and fight it, and that's, a good thing, right? But if fighting means fighting aging in a positive way, and I think that's what we want to talk about, right? That's the idea of aging gracefully, right?
I mean, the alternative isn't good. People say to me all the time, "Oh, getting older is horrible," and I'm like, the alternative isn't better.
No, it's not. And if you look at the definition of aging gracefully, it's this idea of physical, mental, and social well-being, not just living longer.
Hmm.
And we've talked a little bit about the idea of lifespan and all of that. But I kind of look at it more as a mind, body, spirit sort of thing.
Of course you
And
do.
spirit, what do you mean?
No, you're always about that stuff.
Yeah. And I think I want to start the conversation with spirit because I think actually that's the most important part of those three aspects because it probably drives the other,
When you
right?
say spirit, I think of that as like attitude. Is
Yeah,
that what you're talking
attitude.
about?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Waking up with a positive attitude when you have challenges, knowing that, giving yourself the strength. We talked about this in the episode about, self-talk. So it all kind of comes to roost in the end. And, how you choose to live out those years as you age is really up to you. I mean, that's the one thing that we do have control over, right? Is how we respond to it. We can't control that we're going to age. Hopefully, we are going to age.
Sure.
So if you think about it from a philosophical way, what is it that we can control about it?
Hmm.
Yeah. Let
Hmm.
me think about this. Yeah, the wheels are turning and I'm smelling something burning.
As long as it's not toast.
Exactly. I think that, this idea of being grateful for every day that you have rather than, oh gosh, I can't get out of bed. Everything hurts. I don't know. Yeah, it may take you a little bit longer to get out of bed.
I'm not a morning person, so it's always taken me a long time to get out of bed.
Exactly. So that hasn't changed,
No,
right? So you don't even have to associate that with
I
age.
don't.
Yeah,
It's just one of the other benefits of being me.
right. Yay. I love being me.
Well, I don't have much of a choice.
That's right. Again, back to what we can control. Now, I suppose you could go under the knife or use some other terms like Botox and things like that to try to fight the physical aspect. But what does that do to the spirit? I don't know. That seems like it's starting with the external and trying to drive in rather than starting with the internal. And you know what I'm saying?
I do. I think some people view the external and that helps them with the internal, though.
Right.
I mean, I've said it many times. I look in the mirror and I go, "Who is that guy?"
Yeah.
Or I see my father, and it just doesn't affect me. It just kind of surprises me.
Right. But I bet you the people that love you don't see you any differently.
No, because their vision's gotten worse, and
No, but the friends that you've had for a long time still see, young Joe, right? Like it's
I
not
think
like,
so.
yeah. I mean, think about it.
Do you hear that, guys? That's what you need to tell me.
Well, I think about, some of my longer term friends, and I don't see them as our age.
No,
You know what I mean? I just see them as this beautiful being. I don't know how to describe it, but it is timeless. And I think that that's the spiritual part, right? It's like that internal flame
sure.
or light can shine through at any age.
Would you consider getting some work done?
No, I wouldn't, only because I'm afraid of things like that. But do you know that adults 55 and older account for 25 to 26% of all cosmetic procedures in the US?
It's not surprising.
That equates to 4 million procedures annually.
Hmm. So if
And
I'm going to go to med school, I should go to cosmetic surgery. Is that what
yes,
you're saying?
yeah, and it's
Okay.
not too late, Joe.
No, it's not.
And it's had a 28% increase over the last decade for this age group.
I heard it as, I think it was a podcast. It was just a passing comment where they said the number of men getting procedures is increasing much, much more
Yeah,
uh, compared to historically.
yeah.
I just found that interesting.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can tell though too.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes, and I wouldn't discourage someone from doing it if that's what they
No.
wanted to do.
I
It's just not for
guess.
me.
No. Well, 65% of all facelifts are performed on patients 55 plus. 56% of forehead lifts are in this age group. Gonna get a forehead lift. You can just use like a tight headband. 56% of eyelid surgeries. Now that freaks me out. Are performed ages 55 to 69. Do you know what this is called? I can't even pronounce it.
I don't have it.
Blepharoplasty?
Okay, sure.
I don't think I did a very good job of that.
I can't find that in my notes.
So, a lot of Botox going on. 23% of Botox patients are in our age group. It is minimally invasive. So, that's
Blepharop
kind of the go-to, right?
blepharoplasty.
Yeah, right. Easy one, right?
Yeah, let's call it eyelid surgery.
Yeah, that's easier.
Much easier.
Now the Botox, though, I isn't that like, I don't know, rat poison or
I don't
something
think it's
weird?
rat poison, but
Botulism or
it's
whatever it
botulism.
is.
It is botulism. Yeah.
I don't want that put into my head. That just seems icky.
Not that there's anything wrong with it if you choose to
No.
do it.
Okay, yeah. I'm not judging. I'm just saying for me,
She's not
that
judging, but it's icky.
it's icky for me. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, it's done. Would you consider that aging gracefully?
I think for some people,
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that to me is fighting it hard, right? And not naturally.
well, it's not natural for sure.
Yeah.
But
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 there
if
are
it's
many natural ways to age gracefully.
sure, let's talk about those.
Yeah.
Now that
So,
we've alienated all the listeners who
I
who
know.
have opted
No,
for
listen,
Botox or
I
some
think it's
procedure.
great if you first of all, if you have it's expensive. I mean, those
Can be.
procedures can go from just the Botox alone is like 300 to 1500 per procedure, depending on how much Botox you're getting.
And I don't know how many times you need to have it done.
Well, I think it lasts for, a couple months or something.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's expensive. So, aging gracefully is probably less costly, or I should say naturally
Sure.
is less costly. And I can't imagine what some of those medical procedures cost. And I don't think those are covered by insurance.
I would bet not,
No.
since they're elective.
Yeah. So, that alone gives us more reason to look at the list of how do we age naturally and gracefully. So, a lot of these things are common themes that we've covered before, but the first one is to like reframe. And this is kind of what we were talking about before, reframe the idea of aging,
Sure.
that it's not necessarily a decline, it's another opportunity, another day to do wonderful things
Exactly.
and to grow. It's just because you're aging doesn't mean you stop growing.
You're maturing.
Like a
I could
fine
I
wine.
could use some maturing, actually.
Yeah, I don't wanna.
You don't
I
wanna
don't wanna,
mature?
and I'm not gonna. So there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's part of it too. Acting like a child is probably not a bad thing as long as you're not, like, having a temper tantrum in the middle of Market Basket or something, but yeah.
I saw somebody recently in a store, and, like, someone our age,
Mhm.
pretty much having a temper tantrum with the person at the cash register.
You're kidding.
No, no, I was it's like, "That's ridiculous." It's ridiculous. You're old enough. I said to somebody, "That's the kind of person that would yell at the gate agent at the airport because their flight was delayed."
Yeah, yeah. That's that Karen thing, right?
Oh, this was a guy.
Oh, it was a guy.
Yeah,
What's a guy equivalent of a Karen?
I don't know.
What would you call them?
I
What would
don't
be their
know.
names? So that's spirit. What about mind? We've talked about this in the past.
Mhm.
How do you age gracefully with your mind? Well, the idea of lifelong learning. When we went to LaSalle Village and you look at those people who are well into their 80s, 90s, and they were vibrant.
Vibrant was the first word that I thought of.
Yeah. And I think that that certainly constitutes for aging gracefully, where you still have this learning mindset. Like, I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to try new things. I'm going to continue to expand.
Yes, I agree. But I don't know that you need to learn new things. You can take something that you already know and just keep improving that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, for instance,
And sharing it
exactly. So,
because we actually did an episode about
why are you
being
pointing at me?
being kind. Remember, like
Yes.
how that 2 to 4 hours and sharing and mentoring and all of that good stuff
Mhm.
actually helps cognitive decline, like
A
considerably.
an example in my life is cooking.
Hmm.
I've always been, a pretty good cook,
Right.
but over the last 5 to 10 years, my skills have really increased, and I keep expanding that.
Yeah.
I keep going into other things that I haven't done before.
You could write a 60 plus cookbook.
That's a great idea. We're gonna have to edit that out so no one else gets the idea.
Yeah.
Uh, but other things, if you have a hobby, it may be that you have more time now than you did earlier in your
Right.
life, and you can improve the skills in that hobby, whether it be woodworking or
Yeah.
needlework or
Yeah.
whatever your hobby is.
Yeah. Your passion, you're just going
Hmm.
to refine, refine, refine.
Hmm.
Continuous improvement process.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I think for me, it's more writing, right? Like I was just thinking about, I want to take a screenwriting class.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea for a movie or a TV show?
Well, I would probably take my book and try to make it into a,
Ah. Oh, we talked about,
yeah.
yeah.
Somebody actually said that to me the other day. They're
Really?
like, "Are you gonna?" And I thought, "Oh, you know what? Why don't I do that? Like,
Okay.
why not? Like, would be a new skill for me. I'd be learning something new,
Hmm.
and who knows what could happen, right?
Who
So,
knows?
who knows? Indeed. I mean, I think that is
If Reese
also.
Witherspoon is listening,
Oh, yeah. If anybody knows Reese Witherspoon, I think that is also part of that, both spirit and mind, is that idea of staying open, right? And staying open to new ideas and new experiences and not just getting comfortable, sitting in our chairs, rocking, which is a good thing too. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, having moments of
Janet's on a
peace.
mission to alienate as many listeners as possible today.
No, I'm not. I actually think it's really good to sit and whatever it is, be at peace, listen to music, meditate, all of that's
Hmm.
great. But I like this idea of it, adventure, through it doesn't have to be with your body. It can be with your mind.
Sure. I did come across a statistic.
Yes?
People with positive self perceptions of aging
Mm-hmm.
live about 7.5 years longer on average.
Wow.
right? That's not nothing.
Now, there's the nugget as to why to do this episode, right? And why listen to this episode. That's the nugget right there.
I'm good at
That's
nuggets.
you are a good nugget finder.
Yeah, I've been improving that skill.
That's going to come in handy with Easter coming up.
My nuggets
You'll be
are
able to find the Easter eggs or the nuggets.
really.
Yeah.
Are we having an Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun. It was funny. There was a point in time when instead of candy going in, you know how you get the
Hmm.
Easter egg shells and you hide them. I don't know when that exactly happens, but at some point you stop putting candy in it and you put money in it.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'll go on that Easter egg hunt. Is it
I thought
folding money?
yeah, sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. What are some of the things you can do to help age gracefully?
Well,
Other than what we've already talked
so
about.
we talked about spirit, we
Hmm.
talked about mind. What about body? Ooh, we've
Well,
we've covered that a lot. We talked about mixing it up in terms of your exercise programs,
right. Don't just
right?
do one thing.
Right.
If you're a runner, great.
Yeah.
But, get on your bike or go swimming or
And I think walking
lift
is
weights.
amazing. I also think that walking for our age group has a lot of different benefits
Hmm.
because it gets you outside, right?
Yes.
We're not talking about walking on a treadmill,
Right.
which is got a host of benefits there.
Hmm.
And hopefully, maybe you're walking with a friend too, or you're not. If you're walking alone, you're sort of
Alienating people again.
meditative, reflective. I like to walk by myself.
I do too.
Yeah, and you get in touch with nature, and that has a host of benefits.
You know what you can do while you're walking?
Listen to the podcast.
Listen to the 60 Plus podcast with Janet and Joe. Yes.
Yeah, you can, but I also like to listen to just the sounds of nature.
Sure.
And then if you're with a friend or two or whatever, then you have that social connection, which is also, I think, part of aging gracefully is cherishing those real friendships that have lasted over the years
Hmm.
that fulfill you, with good things, joy, support, whatever it is, and is not a drain on your mental capacity. As sometimes,
Janet's all for not draining her mental capacity.
you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all had that friend or two where it's like, oh my God, are you ever going to say anything positive? You're like, I can't do this. This is dragging on my peace of
My
mind.
aging gracefully.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember, like, especially during the pandemic,
Okay.
oh my gosh. I had a friend who had a dog, and I had a dog. So we would decided that we would walk the dogs. And it was in the morning. So you're starting your day. And she'd be going through the list of people who, had COVID and who maybe died even or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't think this is going to be a good way to get through this.
I'm gonna listen to podcasts while we're walking if you don't mind.
And after a while, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't walk today. It's like, oh, help me. So
So
anyway,
the, there's I'm getting back to a kind of mind and spirit stuff.
mm,
A lot of the stuff we've talked about before. It's
yes,
healthy diets, mixing up your exercise regimen, staying socially
lifting
connected,
weights at least
lifting
twice a
weights,
week. Yep.
using humor and perspective.
Oh, so important.
That, that wasn't very funny. Ugh.
No, I mean, oh yeah,
And it's humor is associated with lower stress and better coping with challenges around aging.
of course. Well, you were saying this in your Real Talk episode. You were like, I think it was, you said something like the things that were not that funny,
Hmm.
like when you were young,
Oh yeah.
that would happen, and now you just like kind of laugh at them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
getting dinner at 4:30.
The early
It's kind
bird
of it's kind of
special.
funny now, but
We don't have blue hair yet, though.
well, speak for yourself. uh, All right. So what else we got? What else can we talk about aging gracefully?
Another idea I think that gets to maybe all three is this idea of maintaining a sense of purpose.
Yes.
That w- there is research that shows that that is helpful in terms of cognitive decline and it reduces mortality. So, having a sense of purpose can actually add years to your life.
So
So,
we've talked about this. So
yeah.
either volunteering,
Mm-hmm.
people that choose to continue working,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things.
Grandparenting. Remember, we had an
Grandparenting,
episode
yes.
about that, and there was a bunch of positive benefits on that. Here's another one I personally like is, and this gets to an earlier part in the conversation was practice gratitude and mindfulness. And I believe we also had an episode about that too.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was a whole episode, but
It
we have talked
reduces
about it.
stress and it improves emotional well-being. And so there's like some, a tip like you can write down 3 good things each day. Have gratitude. I've also heard that that's like a great way to wake up and a great way to go to sleep. Like you just kind of go through the mental list and they don't have to be like huge things. Like they can
No,
be really simple,
I'm
simple
I'm
things.
thankful for my morning cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, I say that every
Yep.
day. I'm like excited. I'm like, yay, I can get up and make coffee.
I can't think of 3 things to be grateful for until I've had coffee.
Right. Well, that's okay as long as you're doing it in the
I
beginning of the day. I
I
think
got
it
a new
sets your
coffee maker.
Oh, you
I
did?
did. It's really good.
And you're grateful for
I'm
that.
very grateful for it. It's really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what kind of what
Espresso.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Well, let me
It's
know
not
when
a
I
super fancy one. It's fairly basic, but it does the job,
All right.
and I'm grateful for it.
I will look to experience one of those cool coffee maker coffees that you're going to make for me
Okay,
hopefully someday.
I will.
Okay. This is how we started the conversation. Focus on what you can control.
I say it all the time. Control what you can control. I've said it here before.
Right.
Somebody years ago asked if I was a Buddhist because I do say that very
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah. So exercise, diet, sleep, all of that is in
Social
your control,
connections.
how you think.
Mhm.
And this is the one that people don't like. It's hard to realize. It's like you are not your thoughts. You can control
Mhm.
what you're thinking, how you're thinking, right? Like you can try to turn things around. So feeling, trying to be every time you're going down a negative road, just be like, okay, stop. Don't go down that road. Let's see if we can
Find the
turn it
silver
around.
lining.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Keep learning and staying curious. We already talked about that. Accept appearance changes without tying them to self worth. And this was kind of what we were talking about in the beginning. Body acceptance increases with age, which can improve well-being. So, you know, if you're looking older,
Which you probably are.
of course,
Well, everybody is.
you have to kind of love your older self too.
I agree.
I think that's part of aging gracefully. And, sharing that, when I think about grace and dignity, I think about, sharing that spirit with others around you, which I feel like this is part and parcel to why we're doing this podcast, right? That,
Okay.
you know, getting older is not decline. It is not a sad thing. It's not
No.
and can be an inspiring time and a time of great, exploration and learning and growing and sharing that with others around you, people who are maybe having a tough time with aging, or people who are very young and kind of have this impression that you're old and dottery, and that just doesn't have to be the case.
Well, if you're like that, Janet doesn't want to go walking dogs with you.
Well, my dog is no
I
longer
I know.
with
I
us.
know, but you have a grand dog that you could that
Yes,
I'm
that's
sure
right.
you
Yeah.
walk sometimes.
Yeah, but she's not real social.
She's not very social.
No, that's not true. She is. She is. She just gets a little skittish sometimes.
Okay.
She's very particular about who she wants to walk with. I don't know where
Kind of
she
like
gets that.
you.
I don't know where she gets that from. So anyway, the big takeaways here is that, you know, mindset, how you think about aging, connection, the relationships that you keep, are they supportive and humor and, all of that good stuff. Purpose, why do you get up in the morning in addition to the cup of coffee? And then the action, your health, your learning, your engagement, all of those things
do you,
are
do,
going to
do you notice
help.
some recurring themes here?
Totally.
All of this.
We're gonna have to stop doing the podcast because we're running out of ideas, people.
No, we're
We're
not.
repeating ourselves.
We're not running out of ideas. It's just the ideas we have and the topics that we cover
Yeah.
all kind of revolve around the same set of solutions:
Yes. Yes.
exercise, diet, sleep, and social connection
Yes.
and sense of purpose.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And positive attitudes towards aging
Hmm.
isn't just about feeling better. It's actually linked to living longer and healthier.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you think we've beat this horse to death?
Oh yeah. This horse is is a goner.
This horse is done. All right. So stick a fork in us. We're done. Um, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Sharing is another.
Is caring.
Sharing is caring,
Yes.
and leave a comment in the Spotify comment section if you like. Until next week, I'm Joe.
I'm Janet. Bye.